Well, the big question will be, if they were murderers, why they did accept to release them? Israel understands well that those are freedom fighters. They have done the correct thing according to the international accords. Their right of resistance was guaranteed by the international law. He is trying now to avoid all those facts by saying that they are murderers. I think by doing this, he is abusing the international law. He's abusing the rights of the people to be free. So we will not care about that. The Israeli government, the Israeli army understands well that they have released the freedom fighters instead of their POW.
What is the official reaction to this swap from Hamas? Do you describe it as a coup? Do you describe it as a political or a public relations success?
Well, we believe for the first thing that it is a success for the Palestinian people and a success for the resistance and the principle of resisting the occupation. The resistance people, they can, and no one did that else, they can release their own fighters, they are their own freedom people, and it's also a success and it's a victory, in fact, for the Palestinians who sacrificed for their freedom, who were patient, who were under the Israeli attack during the war against Gaza, who are still under the occupation. For the first time, they saw their enemy helpless. His soldier is captured, kept inside the Palestinian territories. They couldn't do anything else. They exchanged. So I believe it's a victory in a full meaning with the for the Palestinians. Another side of the story is that release of the prisoners was not only for Hamas prisoners, it was for Hamas, Fatah, Islamic Jihad, Popular Front, and other Palestinian factions. It didn't differentiate between the Palestinian prisoners. It concentrated on the people who resisted the occupation, and I believe that was another victory for the Palestinians.
What the deal that we saw come to fruition today was very similar, as far as I can see, to the deal that was around 4 years ago, 2007. What's changed, or what prompted, what time did this deal suddenly appear, the new deal, and for this to happen? How did it happen?
Well, in fact, there are some differences between the deal which took place now and the deal at 2007. And I have to say this deal is better. In 2007, Israelis insisted to deport around 279 Palestinians. Now they are talking, and what had happened, the deported Palestinians were only 40. They denied and they rejected to release Palestinians from occupied territories 1948 or Jerusalem. Now they have accepted this. But this is one of the differences. The second difference, I believe the Israelis were hoping at that time, 2007, to reach the place where Shalit was kept. And they did their best for that. They couldn't succeed. For the last 4 years, they were trying to do that. And they couldn't do this. So now they accept the fact that they are not capable to find where Shalit was kept. The third difference.
Yeah, briefly,
yes,
if you just give us the third difference as briefly as you can.
Yeah, the third difference, there was a new division between the Palestinians in 2007, and they thought for a while this may help Hamas against Abu Mazen. Now they knew this may undermine the reconciliation. If they did that under the flag that this will undermine Abu Mazen's position, they couldn't do that. For those three reasons, I believe they have accepted this exchange.
Ultimately, it was down to Benjamin Netanyahu to agree this deal. Did he drive it?
Well, yes, he accepted the deal, and he tried not to make it like this, but he couldn't.
And did Hamas have any control over which prisoners and how many were released?
Well, the 450, we discussed them by name with the negotiators through the Egyptian mediation. So we had a full control on this. In fact, we couldn't have all the people which we want. In fact, more than 20 names were not accepted by the Israelis, but at least the 450 names were nominated by Hamas and they were chosen by Hamas. The 550 in the second part of the exchange will be selected by the Egyptians and the Israelis.
And finally, one last question. Does this set a precedent in future negotiations with Israel? Are you still talking to Israel about any possible future prisoner swaps?
Well, if there was any kind of prisoners exchange, we'll do the same and we will have more Palestinians out of the jails. But that doesn't mean this will take place as a political negotiations, because after 2 decades of negotiations between the PLO and Israel, I believe no one would like to have the same experience.
Osama Hamdan, thanks for joining us from Beirut.